Just get one of those side by side with 6 seats. And a trailer. Bring it left over to the back.
Worst was I got mine.
Excuse me.
Pretty good one, not, I see the big one.
Two ladies up there
Try that brisket yet? Try that brisket yet? That's pretty good too. I'm lying. They were warm. Ready to call the meeting to order. Karen, would you do a roll call, please?
I will. Lynessa Arthur,
Here.
Lucas Stansberry,
Present.
Bill Houston,
Present.
Dara Westhoff.
Present.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Bill, would you do the invocation, please?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, your many blessings that you give to us. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve this city, that you bless its residents and employees, watch over them, keep them. We ask this in Jesus' name.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a motion for acceptance of the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the consent agenda, A through F.
Second that.
Mr. Mayor, can I make a quick comment? One of those, F or E, is resignation of Alyssa Tyler as our city intern. She is leaving because she's been accepted to law school, and she put a letter in there expressing her gratitude to the council. I don't know if you saw that, expressing her gratitude to the council. She'll be, I think her effective date is next week or the week thereafter sometime. Yeah, that sounds right. At any rate, she's pleased to have been here, and just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. So she's leaving on good terms.
Okay. Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, for public forum, Jeff, are you going to talk during public forum or on item E?
Item E is fine, Mayor.
Okay, thank
I
you.
was instructed to sign that, but I'll wait, since she has it on E, I'll just wait.
Okay. With nobody on public forum, we'll move on to regular business. Item A, welcome Julie Smith from K-State Research and Extension to discuss possible CDBG project.
Hi, guys. It's been a while since I've been here. I'm Julie Smith with K-State Research and Extension. Brought some friends. Amy is on the Fair Board, also Lisa and Danielle. And then Will is our 4-H agent, my coworker with K-State Research and Extension. So we just wanted to talk to you guys tonight about a potential project that we need your help with as a partner. So last year, Johanna and I kind of talked about the potential of applying for a CBDG grant under the community facilities portion of CBDG for a new building at the fairgrounds. You guys went a different direction with sidewalks, it's great. but this is open again this year. So Johanna and I have been communicating, and a little bit of background is there's been turnover at the Regional Planning Commission, and we were initially told that this would have to be a county project. But after going back through some correspondence, Department of Commerce has allowed us to potentially apply for this grant through the city of Girard, because Fairgrounds is not in the city limits, but it's owned by city. So we've already done, I tell you that so you know, we've done a little bit of legwork already to get to this point. So now we just wanted to come to you with some, a few details on the project and get your feedback on if that's something we can partner with. And if so, then we would move forward with Johanna and the Regional Planning Commission to actually do the work of applying for the grant. But it's CBDG, community facilities. It's up to $650,000 for a community of our size. And then we'd be responsible for a 25% match. That's all between, you know, the work that through extension, the Fair Board is willing to take that on. But CBDG, as you guys know, has to be applied through city or county. We can't do that as a 501c3 or anything like that. So Amy's going to share a little bit more about the actual project. And then if you have other questions, we'd be glad to take those.
Appreciate your time and having us today. Amy Brown, current president of Fair Board, and appreciate the other Fair Board members. We've had quite a bit of turnover with the Fair Board and hoping to kind of take a larger strategic plan outlook on that piece of property. And so this would kind of be what I would like to consider step 2, because we've already got Susie Thom and the Restore the 4 crew doing a ton of work with a lot of community buy-in to restore the WPA buildings. And we have, between donations or Fair Board funds, started really making headway on those 4 buildings. But as everybody knows, we have, you know, flooding issues out there. And what is currently called the Marvin Green building is not really a usable piece of property for the community. And so the funds would be to build a new building. We have tentative plans, but, you know, with current construction costs, we would need to get it rebid. But to really potentially hold some community information gathering sessions, meet with some business owners, people throughout the community to figure out how we build a structure that really actually serves the community and could be used far more than 4 days out of the year. And so, again, I've got lots of different ideas. The board has lots of different ideas of how we start to build the fairgrounds out a little more in the future. And this would kind of be this next step of really getting a building that's very usable and big enough to serve the community here. And so appreciate any questions you have or any comments.
Where would that building be located at? It would be where Marvin Green building is now, with it being built up some? Or?
If we can afford the size of the plans we have, we would actually put it kind of where the carnival would sit, where that used to sit. So right to the south of.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with the Marvin Green building?
It has to be demolished.
Figured that out.
Yeah, it will have to be between mold issues and.
You have a nice slide for a square dance.
We do. We may have to move the square dance. But again, if we do some community input and figure out what truly, what kind of events community would like to have space for, that helps us gauge is our idea on how big it is, the square footage. Does that truly serve the community? Do we need to think of, we know what serves kind of the 4-H and extension piece, but does it also serve the community? Does it be used? Again, it hurts my heart to sit there and watch it be used 4 days out of the year. So let's build something that serves us year round.
Are you guys confident you can raise the match then?
We've been applying for other grants already in hopes of. Also, some different funders around the city. We feel like we can get donations and or other grant funding. We've got ideas for some historic pieces that there's grant funds out there for. My background's heavily in grants. And so I like to nerd out and go chase them.
They did extend the deadline on this too. So it's September 30th. That gives us a little bit of time. Obviously, we would not even turn the grant application in until we had the match funds committed.
Yeah, I think it's fairly early on in the application process. You have to commit that you have the match money.
Okay.
But I mean, September, and that's good.
Yeah.
So like they asked, what would you do with the Marvin Green area? I mean, if you have a slab there, you could throw up some kind of canopy or picnic tables or.
They're plans before my time. I moved back to the community almost a year ago, so.
Yeah, so one of the things that we would have to do just based off of the size of the current building is, and what we would like to have in an ideal world is we would have to turn it instead of running east and west, it would have to go north and south. So the building would probably run in, be on cover or take out part of that slab, but depending on, you know, the size of what we're able to end up with the funds, would kind of depend on how we would utilize that. But, you know, like you said, we see this being utilized for lots of different things. So having a slab there for people to be able to use things, even just, you know, if that's something that maybe that turns into a handicap parking space to where if it does rain, something like that, people aren't having to get out in the gravel where there may be puddles, stuff like that. So kind of depending on where that, you know, finally lays out of once that structure is out of that, to be able to really see how it will all fit.
Would you state your name again, please?
Will Morse.
Will Morse, okay, thank you.
Does that eliminate any?
More like a general purpose,
Go ahead.
event center type thing?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously for me being in charge of 4-H here in Crawford County, I have a lot of ideas and things. I have close to 220 4-H members within Crawford County, with a large majority of those being from right here in Girard. My largest club that I have has over 80 members in it this year. Yeah. There is not a space within this community where they can meet indoors. So January, February, March, it gets kind of cold. There's lots of people standing around, you know, and a meeting, you know, it lasts about an hour because they do a lot of things and they're very active. And so this is one thing that'll benefit, you know, that group of kids, as well as all of our other things that we would do for the community. So we're not reliant necessarily on other spaces across the county to be able to host things, or the school, different things like that, to be able to really beef up that experience and that learning that we would offer to kids. So
Our current drawings, and again, part of it will be changing construction costs, new estimates, what can we afford to do, and we may have to stage it out. But currently, it's a pretty broad open space, a space for a stage, some kitchen, a little bit of office and storage space, so that it really is usable for, you know, wedding receptions, school events, you know, truly a kind of broad open event center piece that serves the 4-H, but also other events.
Would that take so much area out there that there couldn't be carnivals and different things come in the future?
no, I don't believe so. Because if I remember right, the one plan that we've looked at and favored the most is like a 75 by 125 type building. So I don't know the exact specs on the current Marvin Green building. It would just take some of that northwest part of that space that the carnival uses, but it would have still plenty of space onto that section. It just might push it back a little.
And we could potentially shift Carnival to the other side of the road at some point if, you know, there was that much, if it was big enough.
You have any plans for future parking and roads? I know everything's a swamp. Everybody parks on the grass. Is that something you guys are thinking about?
My personal opinion, again, I'm only president for a year and haven't been home I've been home 11 months. So lots of ideas and reintegrating myself in the community. But my background, some community development, especially rural community development. I personally want to go after kind of a longer term strategic plan from the board perspective, and then start breaking that down of community sponsors and truly turning it into an area that's used year round. The county I've been in for the last 20 years, the fairgrounds actually had a staff of 5, one that handled all the contracts and scheduling, and then a head facilities person, and then, you know, some facility workers. And that building was used for, you know, train shows, community garage sales, wedding receptions. I mean, all sorts of events. And, you know, with the number of hospitals in the community, with all the different facilities, you know, a lot of the community is aging, and this could be, you know, the fairgrounds itself, not just this building, but the community as a whole, I think could use a strategic plan to really build itself out and become a really usable facility.
I guess that was my question. Is the 625 up to, is that just for the entire strategic plan or just this building?
Yeah, that would just be this building.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this something where you could do it every year, or is it, I guess I'm not familiar with.
Can you apply for the grant every year?
I don't.
Yes, if you don't have, you can only have so many open projects at one time or over scheduled projects, but like we have two right now. We have the lift stations that we should be closing on soon, and then we have the sidewalks that we applied for last year. But yeah, we can apply.
Through the city.
But you can only pick, I mean, I think you guys are familiar, you can only have one CBDG project
Per
that year.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you had already said that you were going down another road, like what happened last year, we wouldn't be able to even look at it. But because there's no other plans this year for the city of Girard, we've kind of talked about how this would be beneficial for the city as well as the fair board.
Any year we don't have something that can be our supplement, like we can.
They change their categories sometimes, so it just depends.
But there's also a lot of funds out there from all different directions. So as a fair board, Danielle, our treasurer, has got everything in order for the last 5 years, and we're applying to be a 501c3 so that we'll be able to go after grants. As a 501c3, we've put together a whole list of different pieces. You know, I would like to kind of do a historical piece out there, and so there's an arts grant that as soon as we're 501c3, plan to go after to kind of preserve some of the history and honor the history, but then have that in place so we can move forward and make it a forward-moving facility in the future. So, you know, between FEMA grants, if we're able to put a community shelter out there's a lot of opportunities, especially once we get our 501c3 legally in place, that we could go after for that longer strategic plan. That this 650 plus the match would be for the one building.
Right. I'm good with it. Any more questions, guys?
Julie, do you want to?
Do we need a motion to be able to work with RPC?
I would make a motion just in case.
With RPC, you said?
Regional Planning Commission.
So I motion that we allow Julie Smith and the staff at the fairgrounds to work with the Regional Planning Commission and CDBG for the project of the new building.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
We'll keep you updated throughout the process.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'd like to see the plans when you get something.
Absolutely, sure. It's it may take us a little bit of time, a little more time than I have patience with, but we're working there. We're gonna head the right
Oh, no
direction.
problem. Just whenever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Moving on to item B, schedule a council tour of city property.
If you guys want to.
We did that
Yeah, a couple years ago.
18,
No,
17,
way more than
18.
a couple years ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a
We
while.
had a couple new people, so we didn't know if you guys wanted to do it. Or when you could, or if you want to wait till summertime and.
It's fun.
I mean, I would love to see a few things that I haven't seen.
Cliff will let you climb a
I've
pole.
got to see Cliff spit shine once or twice already, so.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing everything else.
What do you think about doing it, Johanna? Do you know?
Whatever council tells me we're gonna do it.
Do it on a Monday, or do you want to do it when there's a different time during the week?
Wednesdays are better for me.
Wednesdays,
Wednesday anytime.
Wednesday night?
As long as it's not the first or third because we have court.
I wish you guys could do it during the day sometime when people are working and
Yeah.
everything's open.
Where the workers are there, that's when it's best.
Right, Daryl, can you do it during the day? Weekdays?
Yeah, I'll make arrangements.
What day works best for you? Wednesday?
Like not this Wednesday, but the next, anytime.
Wednesday, then.
Is that the
Wednesday, Friday better for me anyhow.
Whatever also.
What day's easiest to get off, I guess, at work? Everybody wants off on Fridays. Monday?
Wednesdays would be a fine day here because everybody would be here too, usually.
If it's a second or fourth, we're good. Because we have court. And so you're going to limit some
Daryl, would
people.
you rather have a Monday off or a
Doesn't matter.
3-day weekend and you get to
Doesn't matter.
come look at everything?
Monday'd be a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Monday off. Okay. I'm open during the day. 3-day weekend or
What day we looking at?
any day?
Yeah, the 6th or the 8th, right?
How about the 8th? Yeah,
Oh, wait a minute.
The
That's
8th
a
is on a
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Well,
That's why I was asking if they want to take off a Monday, then they have a 3-day weekend where they have.
Eighth doesn't work for me.
how about the 13th? That's a Monday. Yeah.
is that a council meeting?
Nope.
What time do you guys want to meet? So we can meet up here.
Probably mid-morning or mid-afternoon, that way they're not all taking lunch and.
You want at like 11, I could buy some pizza and some people
Yeah.
to eat, or we could,
Great idea.
Yeah, but
I
they'll
think
be,
we had,
the people working the
they have
job.
20-minute lunches and
Oh,
usually.
whatever works for you.
All right, 11 a.m. May 13th. How about that?
Meeting here?
Yes, and I think you guys will have to make a motion on this, right, Karen?
Yep.
Since they'll all
Because
be
they're-
together.
yeah.
They need to, it'll be considered quote unquote a meeting. It'll be a special meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I motion we have a special meeting for the council to tour the city properties at 11 a.m. on Monday, May 13th.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item C, consider Kansas Rural Water Association, KRWA Apprentice Program.
You want to talk about it, Steve or Jackie?
Jackie, you want to start and I'll pinch hit?
Okay, what the apprentice program is basically, as you know, everyone knows we're building a water plant. And I feel like to be able to man this water plant, it's gonna be a lot more complex. We have to grow some operators. And one of the options is a KRWA apprentice program. It's a 2-year program where they have a grant that pays most of the expenses to train people. And they'll have a curriculum that has certain classes. There's points that they have to meet, milestones they have to meet. And once this is done, it will not guarantee they get to take the test, but it will prepare them for the test, which is a difficult endeavor anyway. And it will also give them credit for time served. I think they put it that way.
They're not in jail.
For time served, in order to take a class 3, you have to have a certain amount of time. Well, this rolls back the amount of time you have to have before you can start taking exams. It's a pretty good program, and I think it would give our people a leg up. Part of the if there's not a lot of commitment from the city, I think Steve can talk to that in a minute because he talked to the people. But and if they screw up and the city wants to get rid of them for some reason, if something were to happen, we're not obligated to keep them in the program. Our obligation ends if the city kicks them down the road. If they decide they want to quit and move on, our obligation is not, we don't have any obligation further from that point on.
So we don't have to pay anything back or anything like that, Jackie, if we lose them.
So since it's based on a grant, we don't have to pay anything. They can continue the program if they're not employed by us.
Somewhere else.
But yeah, somewhere else or just from the house, whatever it takes.
But they have to pay for it then? Or does
No.
the grant cover the whole thing no matter they quit or don't?
Yes.
So we just lose the grant. We can't put anybody else in there.
We can put as many people in there as we have mentors for, but you can only have one mentor per person.
Right.
And I think you're looking at 2 of the mentors.
Okay.
So,
We do need some water operators, but I think there's just a couple of
Yeah,
requirements
so
we have to
that
meet.
if we take on this program, I talked to them, they essentially work with us. They're good folks up the KWRA. I don't know if you ever spoke with them in Seneca, but they're good people. It's a small agency, but it's a very strong agency. and they have a lot of backing with our legislators. It is a required incremental raises. So every 6 months, they're on a schedule to get raises as long as they're meeting the training, and the training's one-on-one. It doesn't necessarily mean they will be certified as a water operator. It prepares them in advance for the test and helps them. They still sit for the test. We have a lot of flexibility. We would work with, I can't remember her name. Monica. We'd work with Monica. Thank you. We'd work with Monica, and she answered my questions capably. We spoke for 10, 15 minutes, and she sounded like she was a pro and she'd done it a lot. And it's a chance for us to actually bring somebody along as opposed to go home, study on your own, good luck on the test. That's basically what it's down to. So somebody here would mentor this person, get them ready for the test. There would be a curriculum that they would study under the auspices of the mentor, and the idea is that they would be well prepared for the test. In the meantime, they get a bonus each time, every 6 months. They get pumped up every 6 months. Unlike, we only talk about it once a year, but I'm just letting you know, it requires us to bump them every 6 months if they're in the program.
So we already give $1 raise for, if they pass their operator test. So we can do it 6 months, a quarter every 6 months, and give it to them as they're going through it rather than all at the end. And I think then we would also, if we're going to take 2, have to see what the interest is in the Public Works Department, and maybe have them submit like a letter of why they want to participate, and then you guys would have to pick the 2 people.
Right.
So we don't have anybody in mind for those positions right now, Jay?
I think we have 4 or 5 people that might be interested, but I think
And 2
since
slots.
we're,
Already employed?
yeah, I would think that we have some very strong candidates, but we're limited with the mentors.
So if you guys do want to make a motion to pursue this, I think Jackie and I can work on the, getting the interest. Jackie can figure out who's interested, have them submit a letter to the council of why they want to pursue it, and then Jackie can also make a recommendation, and we can figure out how to do the read.
Yeah, if we're talking about employer matters, of course, that'd be in the
Executive
executive
session.
session.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we can always just do a little miniature interview or something if we come down to 3 instead of 2 or something to that.
Yes, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion that we approve the apprentice program for the Kansas Rural Water Association.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item D,
I was looking at this earlier.
discuss electric pole quotes.
Unfortunately, the quote you guys approved at the last meeting, when Cliff called to make the order, she said that she had made a mistake on the invoice and it ended up being way higher. But luckily Cliff got a couple more quotes and got a new one that's less than the mistaken one.
Nice.
From the same company?
Nope. He found another company that does it.
So one of these I couldn't open. It told me I had to download a Acrobat or
Do
something.
you remember which one was the last quote?
The lowest quote was Stella Jones.
I can see that one. That's one I thought
And
was
then I
the
had one from, it was,
Annixter.
that was the first.
That was the first one. I did put that one back on there, but there was another one on there with the Stella
Lumber.
Jones one.
I can't see that.
Yeah, that one won't
It was
open.
higher than Stella Jones anyways.
So, starting over, we're just gonna approve that one. And
Yeah,
it's
I think-
everything you need.
I think Cliff had said that other bid, probably the one that's not on there, was fine until they said there'd be a $3,400 delivery fee.
Yes.
I thought if we ordered a whole truckload, that
These other companies that I found, you don't have to have a full truckload.
Oh,
I saw in here you only have
nice.
24. That's enough to get you through the season.
No,
No,
just for a little while. I'm gonna turn around and, cause it's a highway project, I'm gonna be ordering another truckload here shortly, just for the highway project.
But we'll be reimbursed for that.
Yeah, and that's already been approved,
Yeah.
the cost.
The 35 footers, that I have 20 of those. Those aren't used every day. It's more than 40 footers.
you
So
can
right now, we still have quite a few 40s. We're just completely out of 35s.
You're only 2 and 2 on those others. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mayor, made a motion that we approve the Stella Jones quote for electric poles for 24 poles.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item E, Jeff Turner, Fire Department briefing.
Good evening, council. And, with the fire department, things have been going on quite a bit. So I thought, this would be a good time for me to come up here and kind of brief you guys like a quarterly briefing on where the department stands and how things have been going on. One of the things I wanted to talk with is Councilman Westhoff and I had made the comment about the storm sirens that we voted on. I did get a hold of the individual Brian Wells, so we're working out a detail about donating that siren to them, making a date where we can schedule that, and us delivering it and making it for cash himself for this next go around. So we're in the process of working on that, just waiting to hear back from them. As you're aware, Girard has held the Firefighter 1 course this last few months. It's a 4-month training academy. These guys have been going through every 2 nights a week, Tuesday and Thursdays, last 4 months. So they just finished up their training, tested Saturday out of our department here, out of all the testing. These guys here, we had 6 of our personnel here in the city of Girard, went through the testing process and finished their testing and everything. So we're waiting on their certificates to come back. So those 6 from the city of this class have accomplished that for their Firefighter 1. What that entail with the Firefighter 1, generally comes Firefighter 2. The city of Arma Fire Department District 2 will be hosting the Firefighter 2 come 1st of June. So our guys are planning on transitioning right into Firefighter 2, continuing their education and level of training. With that entail also, make you guys aware, this Saturday, the city of Girard is going to be hosting along partners with the Kansas Fire Rescue Training, the Grain Engulfment training. It's an 8-hour course. It's going to be held here at the city of Girard, here at the fire department. We've opened it up to all the grain elevators here around the area here outside Girard. We've got a pretty good participation. I think we have 15 signed up, and PCA has 15 employees that are going to be going through it. So we're going to have a pretty good class. So if you have anything Saturday, curious about what it entails, you're more welcome to come out here to us here at the department on Saturdays from 8 to 5. And we're hosting that as well. Also too, what that's entail with that, I've been in contact with the Kansas State Firefighters Association, so we're getting back into with them. We're sitting down in meetings right now with the fire school for next year for 2025. We were not opted for 2024, but it is open is up for 2025. So Girard will be hosting a couple of classes as well for next year. As far as that as well, we're hosting another class come late summer, early fall. It's a driver operator. So our department here will be hosting that as well for our guys to go through that. A little bit our department, since I've taken over, it's been about a year. Our run volumes have actually tripled in this last quarter from last year's numbers. And also our run numbers have doubled from last year. So people are like, why is that? Well, I don't really have an answer for you other than, the medical calls and fire alarms. But with that entail, our run volumes have really increased here in the city as well. And last, also, we'll be hosting in mid-June, bringing a company in. They'll be doing a combined space SCBA conference course here through priority safety. They're bringing their trailer down for all their guys to go through and open it up to the area departments as well. So just kind of give you a rundown of this last quarter this year. So within the department and where it stands and where the guys are headed. So.
Walk through the fire department too. They did a really great job.
Yeah, the guys have been in the process of redoing the station. So we're getting our CAD systems up on TV screens, redoing our entryways coming in, and the guys are doing a really good job. They've taken a lot of pride and ownership within the department as well, coming in their off time, donating their time, and redoing the station. So it's looking very nice. Very nice.
Hey, Jeff, you
Sir.
had, I think the last time I talked to you, you had 32 that started.
Yes, sir.
Was it 28 that ended up finishing it?
I believe so, 28.
What percentage of that, I know do they test for that also at the end?
Well, I mean, at the end, the people that's gone through the class, a lot of times what it ends up being who shows up to do the final testing on test day like they had Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, with that, how many did we have? Was you here? You were here, Cameron, weren't you?
Yeah, there's 15.
15 out of that. But 6 of them were our personnel that tested. So, and then they finished all their certification stuff, just waiting to get that back. It may take about 2 weeks to get that back. But good class.
So there was 15 out of the 28 that tested.
Yes, sir.
What kind of credit do the other ones that attended that didn't test get?
All they get is certificate of attendance. They do
Okay.
not get the FSAC certification. Like these guys, once they do their testing, you're issued a state FSAC certification number. So that means once, and I obtained mine years ago when I went through KU back in 91. Once you get that FSAC certification, it's a seal that I can go to any state and they recognize that FSAC certification, that training. But the ones that just attended the meeting, all they get is a certificate of attendance is what they get. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions from council?
Hey, Jeff, what's the roster now look like?
What's our roster right now? It's our roster is sitting pretty good. We're sitting around 20 right now. That's with part-time people, with our guys. I've got one individual I'm in the process who has prior fire from Ottawa Fire Department, who I guess recently located within the area, bringing him on. But our numbers are good. Before I had enough gear, not enough people. Now I have enough people, but not enough gear. So that's a good thing. It's, people are getting more process of, where our department's going and getting on and volunteering and helping out as well. So, and we're in the process of also doing that. I think I got a meeting. We have meetings with our representatives for gear. We're looking at bidding that out come next, maybe about a week from now, May, in the first part of May, looking at doing our biddings for gear.
Are you looking into some grants for some gear since you don't have everybody covered?
Part of it is grants. Probably this year, what part of the public safety we want to look at is part of it utilizing just not buying a bunch of gear, just a few sets, and then next year implementing that grant gear with that as well, with the public safety, along with the public safety money that comes in.
Yeah, we got public sales tax money.
Yes, sir.
I know. I just don't want it spent on.
Yeah,
stuff we can get
but we
grant
can.
money
What we are is probably subsidize a small amount right now, and then next year implement that. That way, we're staggering it out where guys are getting reissued gear, and it's staggered out over the years. So we're not like buying one large amount, and then when 10 years it expires, we're in the process of having to buy another large amount.
Right.
So we're in the process of doing that.
I don't want to forget those grants as we go, just
Oh, I
because
understand
we
that.
have a little bit more influx.
And Sierra and I attended a good grant class in Springfield for 2 days, and the lady was very, very helpful with us and the information there for that grant, and applying for grants and where we can look for that as well.
I think looking for them is the hardest part.
Well, they're out there. I mean, just you can search for them, just depending on what you're needing them for.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Finding the ones that cover you. I understand that.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions for council? All right. Thank you.
I probably got one I can ask you, but I'll ask you this later.
All right. Thanks. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Moving on to item F, executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss intern employee pay and employee resignation.
Mr. Mayor, a motion would go into executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss intern employee pay and employee resignation. Recommend 15-minute session to include the mayor, council, city attorney, city administrator.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So those are off, right? Here.
Mhm.
Those are off, right?
cameras or the mic?
Thanks.
No, they're not. I can mute them.
That's who Chief told me for you to get all the.
I think that's who I'm gonna reach out, so I can.
Because they do all of them this year. And then we just do them on a routine basis.
1 minute.
I'm not sure on that, and I'm not sure on the pipe size. But I was gonna send an email to the, works guys. That's what he told me that. Shall we sound an air horn? I was. Oh, really? They're not there. Maybe if I could just keep the candy bowl back here.
Right.
Yes?
We can switch sides if it make you feel better. We can count in reverse.
Past ready.
Call the meeting back to order.
Mr. Mayor, move we go into executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss interim employee pay to employee resignation. 15-minute session to include the mayor, council, city attorney, and city administrator.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So you can turn that up again?
That's what I want.
Maybe we can figure out a way of making it fast. Make that 15 minutes. 10.
Hmm.
I got 15 minutes if you want to do that.
I think I'm gonna make that.
I mean, I had this weird hour. Lay down. I've been sleeping 5 hours. I've been sleeping 3 hours. She did that about once or 5 hours. I kept thinking, always was 5 hours. Years later, when she was working evening shift, she realized that's that's pretty tired. You know, because you're sleeping. But I learned to sleep. I can fall asleep. Man, I can sleep. My dad had to write to him to work. I mean, I get in the truck. Kids start the truck. I'd be asleep. They're pulling the gate and waking me up. See how much Starts crying to go out at night. I roll over and go back to sleep. She gets up, I said, "Your dog." Tried to talk to him, kid. Yep. He is a cute little dog. She gets peeing on the floor. And he's 14 pounds. And I have two dogs that are 70 pounds. And he chases that one. We're scared to death of him. Goes hide in the bath from the shadows, the bathtub. Get away from me. He's a wild little bastard. We got him from Travis's son. He's a cutie. He did not that brown, the light. Oh, there you go. That makes sense. Like, really? And the longer, he's got a gunner. I don't know where that goes. Or that doesn't go through. There's nothing. So it's just gonna go there.
So what
But you look on the other side.
Dig on that tour, they tour each of the public works, electric departments, all the city buildings, they come through and tour.
Yeah,
I have no idea where that goes.
so they'll probably go out to the water
So-
plant and everything.
All the city buildings?
Mhm.
They're gonna do the water plant. We're hidden way out there for a reason. We're in stealth mode out there.
They went out there, I guess it
3 or
was,
4 years ago.
yeah, we hit the fire department, the water plant, the power plant, the golf maintenance
You
building.
see the driver of the van? He's gonna have to get him a van.
No, we're gonna use the van,
A van.
the van that you own.
Ooh, that would work. We just clean all that sewage
Just-
equipment out and put some
Haul them all
lawn
in,
chairs
open up
back
the
there.
back end, let them all out.
Yep.
Mercy. Yep,
I
so you're actually driving.
Am I supposed
You
to-
do have a CDL, right?
Yes, I do. I can hit the bumps hard.
So, yeah, we tried to hit every building. We did not go to the public works at that time because it was, we literally ran out of time. But the council really enjoyed seeing where everybody worked.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is real good.
Yeah.
For CD.
Well, when someone comes in and they say, hey, we need, I don't know, a piston or whatever for the power plant, you know, they can look at the engines and they'll visualize what they're asking to purchase, you
I
know.
mean, I'm about to
I was
sweep the
just
floor
when
again
I
this
got
year.
on, when
Yes,
I
sir.
got the electrical department, I think you
Oh,
showed me around those engines, and everybody showed me, I mean, that was phenomenal.
It really
That was-
is.
I couldn't tell you, speechless, I mean, how those things work.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And if you can go when they're running, that's
Oh.
even better. It is,
That way nobody can hear you.
right? You just put the earplugs in. But they really enjoyed it. They really did. I think they were, I don't know, you were there. I think they were more impressed with the power plant more than anything.
That's because they haven't seen the water plant recently.
Well, yes, they have not seen it since. I don't think anyone's been out there since that last tour.
No, the mayor and Bill went out there when I
Did
got here. Ooh. Oof. But it's much different than it was when they went.
Yeah.
moldy rags in the corner are gone. The floors have been swept for the first time in 5 years.
I went out there and said, don't lean against the rail.
Well, it's a lost cause for replacing stuff or painting for the new plant coming. It's not a lost cause this week before.
Right? Yeah, they were impressed. They said, oh, this is really clean, this power plant. And Jeff's like, no, this is pretty dirty right now. So, but they actually started with the fire department because they were right here. So they just went over to the fire department, started there. And so they see where the guys, the sunk, where they sunk out and everything. So.
Well, see, Cliff has his at a level 10 clean. Right, if that's level 10. We're sneaking up on 5.
Are you getting there?
I got here, we were 1. We're up to 5 now. We still got a ways to go. But I got a full crew now that wants to work.
That's good. So we were traveling the other day and we saw an old windmill, old one, and the top had bent over. And I thought of your, yours. I thought, with the winds that we've had here lately, and you can just tell. I don't know if the blades turned or not, but it just literally the very top just went straight over.
Probably when they freeze up.
And he got a wind.
I think that's when it'll bend them over when they freeze up, because when they're spinning, they're not.
I have mine all welded up, but it still turns it's like a wind turbine.
I went with solar.
You should have went to that solar farm in Fredonia. That was pretty neat.
The problem is, you gotta have that stuff tracked. Because my solar during the winter, I don't get much out of it.
Yeah.
Very, very little. You can see the percentage through the summer, but if I had some that tracked.
Shoot, they're talking now about getting the reflection off the ground where it will get both the top and the bottom, which is very interesting.
And I didn't have batteries to store, because the batteries are incredibly expensive. So mine's just supplemental. But during the winter, or during the summer, my bills are $50. In the winter, they're $300.
Girard or the county, Crawford looking at putting in bonias?
There's some in the county, but not in the city.
No, not shipping around the Crown County. I've seen the
They've been
deals.
having meetings and meetings over there, yeah. They're gonna be in my backyard.
Are they?
Are they?
Any on your property?
No, hell no.
No.
Why not? They're usually about $25,000 a year.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
It's good to have them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, like $5,000, something like that.
I don't know what they are, but if they're not turning, you're not making money. They put the contract like that anymore. If it's not producing, you're not.
Oh, you
getting paid.
can't do it the other way anymore?
I went over there off of 43 Highway and 126 just north of there. That guy's place is just covered.
Wow.
I put them in
There must be
around
30,
Union.
40 of those out there all over the place.
Don't they have to have a certain distance between them?
Yeah, I don't know what it's, I told you.
They had one that crashed or crumbled down here the other day. Somewhere I read that one of those towers fell over.
Oh, really?
Fell right over and collapsed.
That's when they forgot to put the bolts in.
Yeah. One of the guys I work with just started, they went through a 16-hour rescue training on those. Somebody getting trapped or unconscious up there and having to get them down from the top of that. Setting up a system, a belay system down. Yeah. So,
I was a hot topic in Lynn County when I was there. And the planning commission would not approve it.
Mm.
So now they're going through the same war with solar and the planning commission. They don't want it.
Hmm.
Like, what's wrong with a solar field? We don't want to see them. But you want to turn your light switch on at night, don't you? But the big tower, yeah, maybe, but, and the big hangup was, you're telling that property owner they can't make money off their property. Why not? I mean, sell the solar, he's got a pasture, that was the big thing, and there was just too many people against it. They just walked away from
They say it's a pretty heated topic.
it. It is. Oh, I sat through those meetings, and oh yeah. And some of the stupidest things in the world you'll hear. They cause earthquakes.
Hmm.
I said, how do you figure they cause earthquakes? Well, they jump up and down because they're down to bedrock, and so they're causing earthquakes. I haven't seen any of them jumping up and down.
Because you guys were saying that the one was starting to get up. Right, who's calling now?
Wonder if I would give them more time this time to get back. Okay, I give them 1 minute.
You gotta give them about 15, 20 seconds to start to get moving. I'd never get out of the chair. He sat up there one day, just like, holy crap, it's that hot in here, cold. Oh, yeah. I said, oh, my days with the pulp, but that's why you can't move around. But, oh, it's so
I give them extra time and they're ready to come out.
So now they'll have to wait.
Yeah. Move around
And give you guys extra time and you come out early. They give
Well,
you
we
just
didn't need that all that
Oh,
extra time. We did, yeah. Somebody was overzealous, maybe.
Yeah, 15, 13, 12 seconds.
Where did you have your paper with that on it? Was that on last week's paper?
It's mine now. I took it off
Sound
for
3, I didn't turn it off.
Let me see it first.
Okay.
Call the meeting back to order.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we hire Olivia Autry, a part-time city hall intern, effective immediately,
Yes.
Second.
okay, at the rate of $10 an hour. Successful completion of her pre-employment paperwork and background check.
No, seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, with no further regular business, we'll move on to governing body comments. Vanessa?
I just want to say I'm very excited about the K-State Research and Extension coming in and doing some work on the fairgrounds. I think that's going to be awesome. It seems like it's been a really long time. Everything out there is getting a little run down and ragged. And so to have a new place that people can, rent, have a party, have a graduation party, do things like that in town will be just not necessarily in town, but will be fantastic. So I hope that the community sees the merit in that and uses it wisely. Aside from that, I'm very glad that we got some things going and things underway. We recently went to Fredonia and saw their solar power, and that was very insightful. You don't realize how big it is. You see it on the side of the road. You don't realize the detail and everything that goes into that, and just how much it gives back to the community. I know it's going to be a big project, and I know we have a long way to go until we get there, but I think Cliff can agree that that would be very beneficial to our community. And definitely, I can definitely see that helping us out in the long run and saving our community members a lot on their electric bills. So we're not buying it off the market and doing all that good stuff. So people in town, help us go for this so we can keep those energy costs low. It'll help your bill, I promise. Aside from that, thank you all city employees. Thank you for your hard work every day. Once again, it's getting into summer. As you guys saw, my son's going to play ball, but please keep your children safe. Please keep them on the right side of the road. Just watch them. Be careful of your neighbor's children. Kids are outside. There's more risk. So please just take care of ours and raise them as a community. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Lucas?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to say thank you to all the city employees. Vanessa said a lot of the good things. I know the city had the city cleanup, and I'm sure it was busy. I know when I went up there, it was busy, and a lot of individuals were doing the spring cleaning part of this time of year. I would like to ask the city, just everyone in general, to this time of year think about your neighbor, like Vanessa said. There's a lot of stuff that's going on as far as events, and it gets busy. I know there's going to be a lot of traffic, so I know the police and even the fire with a lot of, even the scare of fires this time of year, the wind. The other day it seemed like everything was blowing around town, so just be mindful of what you're doing, and that way everyone is able to be safe. And we also have a lot of, not to worry about a lot of incidents happening. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Bill?
And I'd like to thank city employees also for giving us a community that we can be proud to live in. It looks nice. It's decently kept, and it's all thanks to the people who are out there every day doing their jobs. Police, fire, city, you're diligent about what you do, and it makes your town look good. And I think when people pass through, for the most part, with the exception of a property or two, and they look pretty nice going through. So I appreciate it. Thanks. That's all I got.
Girard?
Well, as everyone else said, thank the city employees for everything they do, fire department, police, public works. Also, I want to thank city. Got the opportunity to go to the Kansas League of Municipalities seminar not this last weekend, the weekend before. Got a lot of education on how this all works since I'm the newest member. And it was pretty much eye-opening on a lot of the things that we went over. And I want to thank the city for letting me go. And you just got to keep working to keep things better and try and improve the quality of life for all of our citizens. And that's what our aim is. And it may take time, but we're still fighting to get there. And thanks again. And that's all I have.
And I'm going to kind of reiterate, like going to Fredonia for their solar farm. It's really, those things are a lot more complex than what they look like sitting on the side of the road. And it was interesting. I think they put on a good, KMEA gave a good,
Lots of information.
they gave us a lot of information about what was going on, and just gave us some ideas on, which way to go and everything. It's surprising how much area it takes up. They've got a 2 megawatt takes up 12 acres of ground. And then the way those panels work, they've got a sensor that they search for the sun and they'll move. So I think a lot of people think they just lay there, and they don't. And then I want to thank everybody also, with city employees and everybody on the job they do, and continue moving forward with what they're doing, do a good job and everything. And appreciate it all. See where we can go. We've got a lot going on. We need to be vigilant. And I want to thank you again. And that's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Story. There's no story.